Welcome, Sahana. Welcome, everybody, to the first episode of Time Foundation's initiative of introducing the community-based entrepreneurs, social entrepreneurs, professionals, and social workers to the community. These people have worked hard. They have not only desired of a positive change, but they did contribute and worked hard to bring some sort of a positive change within their own individual capacities and capabilities. I'm your host, Saeed Aslam. I'm here today. I'm very lucky to introduce you in the very first episode, Sahana Ramesh from Wyndham Council, the sitting councillor from Harrison Ward. Welcome, Sahana. Thank you very much for coming along.
Thank you, Saeed, for having me.
We at Time Foundation fundamentally believe that we all are capable of bringing some sort of a positive change in the communities we live in, irrespective of which domain we come from, be it entrepreneurs, professionals, social service, or small businesses. We are all capable of bringing some positive change in the communities just by contributing our skills or sharing our skills and knowledge with others. And I'm very delighted over here today to introduce Sahana, who has done a remarkable job. She has won for the first time from Harrison Ward and Wyndham Council. And she's here to share her experiences, her journey with us, and I'm sure there's a lot to learn from it. Sahana.
Thank you, Saeed, for your very kind words. I'm quite happy. I'm very delighted, excited to be part of this initiative of yours. Please ask away any questions and anything you might have, and I'd be very happy to answer.
Yeah. One of the things that I wanted was, I'm inspired the way you do things, and I want many people out there to get inspired by you and learn from you and implement what you have done and try and see if they can make a difference in the communities they live in. What's your fundamental advice? What do you think what inspires you to do what you do?
Right. So when I first migrated to Australia, I was quite young, 21, I think, when I first landed in Perth. As I remember, I was quite young, enthusiastic, and very excited about where I was. The attributes of truly a positive person, but in hindsight, I think I was quite naive. It was this positive attitude that allowed me to integrate very easily within the community. And I pretty much took everything that came towards me in terms of opportunities that I had. With what I believe is fundamentally that having a flexible and optimistic mindset, you don't carry this self-imposed restrictions and challenges that I think a lot of us migrants bring with us.
I'm sure you know, Sahana, that the challenges that we as first generation migrants face are quite different to the challenges faced by the other people. Now, and in that context, especially talking about the women, the challenges are quite more drastically challenging. You being a woman, you've achieved it. So what do you think are the challenges that you faced, and how do you advise the people to overcome those challenges, and what inspires you to fight those challenges?
Sure. There's a few things that come to mind when you ask me this question. So it's quite important to note that setbacks are okay and they're a learning experience. And what is perceived as a dead end should ideally will be an opportunity, another door that opens up for us. All you have to do is keep an open mind and stay flexible. I can't say that I've made it yet. I think I've got a long journey ahead of me. But yep, I'll keep persevering and keeping a determined myself to achieve the goals that are ahead of me. And I think that perseverance also becomes very important in an individual.
So you're saying it's okay to fail?
It is absolutely okay to fail. So we live in a country where it is actually okay to fail, and
yes.
that is absolutely a privilege.
I can correlate that because we come from the same origins. From where we come, failing is very drastical. It's very almost lethal. But here, life gives opportunity. So do not be afraid to fail. Give it a shot.
Absolutely.
The importance of learning. How important is it to keep learning? And how do you validate your learnings? and what impact has your previous education had on your things that you do? How much did it make a difference, and how do you keep learning continuously?
Learning is so important in life. I think I will be a lifelong learner. There's so much that we can learn from everything around us. There's so much we can learn from the people around us. And I think people that I have met through the course of my life have been my biggest source of information and knowledge and exposure. I still would like to say that every person you meet, you learn something from them. In terms of my professional education or training that I've gone through, I guess the MBA has played an important role in my life. It's giving me the confidence to back myself up and start a new business, which I've found extremely valuable. What was another part?
And I mean, how do you validate, like in terms of learning, how important is it to find a mentor, a right mentor? What do you think about it?
Yes. So I haven't gone out seeking for mentorship as such, but I've been very fortunate to have met some amazing people that have had a significant influence and impact in my life. The most profound of all of those has been my partner.
Oh, you're lucky.
I think it becomes, I think it's so important to find that someone that can act as an anchor in your life, that can support you through the setbacks that you
Give
have
you a
in
hand,
life. Yes.
support you, stand with you.
Yeah, true. Absolutely.
You.
It makes the journey so much more enjoyable. So, so I've been quite grateful that way.
Yeah, that's good. I believe this is fundamental. Like the process of learning is incomplete. My father used to always say me that when you die, you learn how to die. So it's incomplete, and it's because we come from a culture where the people do not give enough preference for mentorship.
Yes.
You know, we sort of come from that culture, but in a country like this where everything is so highly professional, it's very essential to seek the right people, to understand the right mentor, and then get on to them.
Yeah, having access to the right people for mentorship was also so difficult back home as well. But you've got so many different platforms in Australia, whether it is professional or any stream that you want to pursue. For example, you're quite interested in the community service side of things. It's there's so many different platforms that you can go out.
I think that's what we're trying to create now. In terms of the Time Foundation, that's what we're all trying to create. We're trying to create this platform where people can exchange information, find the right mentor, and get some right guidance from the right people.
That's fantastic, Saeed.
So we all know that in everyone's life, there's some sort of an incident, something very natural happening in terms of converting person into a transformational relation. So what's your transformational relation? How do you define that? Who has transformed you from what you were to what you are?
I can think of a few people, Saeed, but one of the main people that have had a large impact on me was my uncle. I grew up watching him grow into this wonderful, amazing man that was successful in his business, as well as a politician that worked for a cause, a politician that worked for his community. And I grew up building this immense respect and admiration for this man. I admired the way he carried himself. I admired the way he built credibility over the years. I admired the way he never gave up in his life. These are the things. I think this specific relationship in my life has been very transformative. And has sort of contributed to my personality. Some of the things that I've done as well, running for the 2020 council elections as well, was one of the things I think was an inspiration from my uncle. When I say this, I also think about you and the initiatives that you are trying to run with Time. In terms of migrant integration into workforce as women's empowerment, as well as women's empowerment. Very powerful. Absolutely, I think you're taking leadership in areas that lack focus and requires a lot of work.
Yeah, it requires.
So yes, would you like to talk about that?
Yeah, I think what I would like to say, everyone, is this, that we all will encounter some form or the other transformational change. It's just looking for that and getting inspired. I remember those days when we did our first interaction with women while we were going through the elections, and
Yes.
that, in fact, today what we are doing is
Yes.
actually a reflection of that.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
there's a connectivity between that, and if we wouldn't have done that, we wouldn't have come this far.
Yes.
So, and I'm sure when people like you join, they will add a lot of value, and it will inspire many people to come and be part of it and make a difference.
Absolutely. So I've known Saeed for the last 1 year, and I think he's at his best when he's serving his community.
We all desire a change. Now, what's the change that you want to see? What is that unique change that you are aspiring for us as Wyndhams?
Right. So for Wyndham, I think Wyndham is definitely a very culturally diverse ecosystem. And I think in this diversity, we should find our strength.
Yes.
And if we are able to tap into this diversity and create an ecosystem where we can help each other and create a supportive environment, whether it is for incubating businesses, because entrepreneurship is certainly the cornerstone of our community.
Yeah.
We need to have as much of it as possible. We can also use the same, we can tap into it and also create opportunities for diversity in workforce, such as placing women and migrants into various areas of work.
Yeah, that's very profound and powerful. How do we build those entrepreneurs? Because that's what is going to sustain eventually.
That is true.
And how can we actually integrate the migrant community who's coming into our culture, and how do you think we can actually we want to carry our culture forward?
Yes.
But we want to leave our prejudices behind.
Yes.
And we need to work at multiple layers, right, at community level, at a local governance level, at a state level, and a federal level, and it has to filter down. So what do you think about this thing in terms of carrying our cultures but leaving behind our prejudices?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Saeed. I think we all come from such strong and vibrant cultural backgrounds, and they've left such a huge impression on each one of us, I think, while growing up. Embracing this the new community, sense of community and culture that we have in Australia, it doesn't mean that we're leaving our cultural heritage behind. But by that, as you quite rightly said, I don't mean that we should carry on our prejudices as well. We need to leave those behind and embrace what's ahead of us.
Yep.
And culturally, we should I think, let go of those prejudices that we have and work collectively as a community.
Yeah, and I'm sure you're aware that Wyndham is a very, very diverse community.
Oh, absolutely.
At one point when I was doing some basic research, I was able to find that there are people from more than 150 countries who live in Wyndham. In fact, who were born in various countries.
True. So. I was looking through some of the stats from the council when we went through a few sessions where it said that Punjabi, that's one of the Indian languages. It's the second most spoken language in Wyndham. And I was really surprised by that, just to see how many people we had from Punjab living in the area. So,
And Time Foundation was built on that fundamental core value, that how do we integrate people from beyond region, beyond religion, beyond ethnic, beyond linguistic backgrounds. It's open to everyone. That's the beauty about Time Foundation, and that's the reason I'm saying, everyone, please come and stand with us, and let's work together. Let's build it brick by brick.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic, Saeed. That's very rightly said, that there shouldn't be any barriers. I think when we create those barriers, I don't think we can achieve a lot. I do believe that our strength is in our unity,
That's
and we should find unity in our diversity.
that's good. Sahana, how easy or how hard is it to be a counselor? How do you find it? Challenging?
I don't think of my job as either hard or easy, but it's been a steep learning curve for me, learning the challenges that the people in the community face. So it's been a fantastic, very rewarding experience. I often say this to people that serving at a local government level or being a council of your city, you're so close to the community. You're able to see the rewards of the work that you do.
Yeah.
You see the benefits, you hear from the criticism, you see all aspects of the work that you do. And I think that aspect makes it so rewarding.
Yeah. A lot of skepticism, a lot of optimism. What challenges you? Like,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's always good to have a positive, optimistic mindset towards everything. Being a first-time counselor, I still need to establish my credibility within the
Yeah,
community. You know, there's an amount of skepticism that I see from people,
yeah.
which hopefully which hopefully will disappear over my term, and I build that credibility. Yeah, so that's pretty much how I look at it.
Yeah, and it's very nice to know and see that all four councillors from Harrison Ward are women, and that was remarkable. And
Yeah.
I look forward that in the next generation, at least one of our community girl comes into the council as a councillor. And what is your advice to them? How do they start the journey? What do you think they need to do?
Oh yes, absolutely. From the interaction that I've had through you, Saeed, I've gotten to meet some amazing women from your community, and absolutely they've got everything that it takes to jump in and actually stand for elections. And I'm sure they've got all the attributes, skills, the personality, the charisma, and everything that they need to actually make
It's
it.
just that tiny bit of...
Exactly, just that belief and confidence in themselves that they can do it is probably the most important thing.
I'm sure they're listening and they'll love it, and I'm sure they'll learn a lot from this interaction. Thank you so much, Sahana. Sahana, thank you so much. We had a lengthy discussion. We discussed quite a few issues, right from entrepreneurship to politics to social causes. Nev, what is your one fundamental message that you want to give to the Wyndham community? How can we support you or stand with you and contribute towards the positive change that we all desire to bring? What do you think do you want to communicate with the Wyndham community members?
Right. We live in a land of opportunity. Be positive, be optimistic, and don't hesitate to reach out to others and help each other out. Believe in yourself, be creative, come up with your own dream, and then do something about it. The hardest part is starting. Once you get that out of the way, the rest of the journey is much easier.
And it's okay to fail. There's nothing wrong. And the biggest challenge is to get started. Is that right?
Absolutely. We live in a land that respects people for trying, and we don't get judged for failing. So we should definitely make the most out of the opportunities that we have.
Sahana, I'll ask you 3 questions, rapid round.
Okay.
Okay, quick ones. Do you read books?
Yes, I do.
Any interesting ones?
I would recommend Becoming by Michelle Obama as one of the books. It's a great book. It taught me a lot about hard work and journey to success.
Okay. How do you find time for yourself when you're so busy with doing things?
Right. So I put my hobbies aside because of my community work and council work that's keeping me busy. So my weekends are pretty much occupied with community events around Wyndham City.
Okay. Where do you go for learning things? Like where do you seek knowledge and information? Do you watch TED Talks? Do you go to a library? What do you do?
As I said, I think there's so many different sources of information and knowledge around me, but I do try and spend time reading as much as I can. So I listen to podcasts about interesting topics. Some of the things that I listen to are about renewable energy.
Oh, that's one of your
And
core
that's
subjects.
yes, absolutely. That's some of the areas that I'm quite passionate about: EVs, sustainability, climate change, a whole range of topics, podcasts, and TED Talks, as you said. Yeah.
Do you have any questions for me, Sahana?
Yes, I do. I can think of one question. You gave us the big picture vision for the
Yeah.
Time Foundation. What I'd like to understand is, what are the next steps? Do you have a plan? How are you going to deliver your vision?
Look, first thing is, it's fundamental to get started. When I started, I had a vague idea, and then I started speaking to people, trying to get people to buy in the vision, and luckily you were the first one who were able to buy in. And because you were working since previously on the subject, you liked the idea and you wanted to be part of it, and we sort of share the same vision. And I'm sure that there are many people out there who are having the same attitude or same purpose to do something good and bring some sort of a positive change in the community.
Yes.
When the word goes out there, it will be organic. People will learn more about it, and then they will come and stand with the purpose and the cause to make a difference. Now, what I'm looking for is basically entrepreneurs, professionals, or I've categorized them into 4 segments: entrepreneurs, professionals, social workers or social entrepreneurs, and small businesses. And if you look at it, there are actually 4 different dots, and I've tried to connect them, draw them. So the entrepreneurs are the ones who are trying to create the value, who are trying to make something innovative and something that will make difference in the world, and that's the way world will move on towards sustainability. Professionals are the ones who are actually working in the industry, so they can get the newly arriving migrants connected to the right people in the industry. They can mentor a new professional or a new graduate. Social entrepreneurs are the ones who are actually trying to work at the community level to bring the change. And then small businesses, they're fundamental, they're very important, because they are the people who provide the right employment opportunities. They are the people who are investing. So it's all about getting these people step by step into this loop and then connecting them, and it's an organic growth. And it will slowly come. I know it will come, and the way it will come is when more and more people come and want to contribute, want to speak and be part of it. So the idea behind Time Foundation is we'll have a web portal, we'll have stories to tell, people, individuals who can add value, who can contribute in their own way, and when people start learning about it, it slowly will grow from there. And I think this is quite possible, even though it looks a distance apart, but when we all come together, those baby steps will make a difference. I hope I've clarified you the vision and the plan that we have got in place. And I am intending to start a small training session for specifically women, women entrepreneurship, and I'm sure you will help me, and there will be a lot of women entrepreneurs out there who will come and support and stand with me. So, and to conclude this, I am really grateful. I don't have words to express. Thank you so much for your efforts and coming and sparing the time and answering the questions or the queries that we had. I'm sure the people out there in Wyndham will have a lot to learn from this interaction session that we had. And there will be a lot of people out there who will get inspired to take that initiative, and they might come, who knows, want to be part of Time Foundation and to make a difference. And I'm really grateful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening to us.
Thank you so much, Saeed. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Consider subscribing to my YouTube channel, The Migrant Story, to hear from the dreamers, the aspirants, the rebels, the go-getters, the change makers, about their journeys, what motivates and inspires them to do what they do, and what changes they want to make in the world, and how.